Good evening, welcome. Before we begin the regular City Council meeting open session, I'd like to remind members of the audience that anyone wishing to speak during public comment must obtain a number card from the city clerk in the back. If you did not obtain a number and wish to speak, please proceed to the back of the room, and city staff will issue you a number card. Lining up during public comment will not be permitted, and each speaker should remain in their seat until their number is called. The time clock will begin when you begin your comments. Per the city's council meeting rules and for fire safety regulations, all persons shall remain seated unless addressing the city council or entering or leaving the chambers. Standing in the aisles or along the walls is prohibited. There is overflow seating available in the lobby. If there are no available seats in the chambers, please proceed to sit in the lobby. I will now call to order the regular city council meeting open session. The time is now 6:33. City Clerk Duarte, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Frometa.
Present.
Councilmember Ortiz.
Present.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Pemberton.
Present.
And Mayor Sosa.
Present, thank you. And now please join us for the invocation by Pastor Shane Hicks from Legacy Church of Downey.
Well, good to see everybody. How you doing?
Good.
That's good. I don't do it that way, though. What a crowd. I knew that you all heard that I was speaking, but I didn't expect this. It's okay to chuckle. You can have fun even at these things. Go Warren, right? Yeah, great stuff. That's awesome. Hey, in John 14:6, Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And this is Easter season. Spring has sprung, and it is an opportunity for all of us to consider new life. And you know what? I don't know who you are, but my heart just goes out to this city. I love Downey. I love when I'm invited to pray here. And I want you to know that if you don't have a church to call home, maybe because a lot of churches are weird, I get it. No judgment because my hair is long. But Legacy is right over here by City Hall. And if you have kids or you're up there in age or anywhere in between, we've got ministries for everyone. And we just want you to know that you are welcome on Sundays at 9:30 and 11 a.m. We are a church that loves our city. We will pray for you. We'll walk alongside of you. And we understand all of the different possible things that could divide us in these times. But I want us to focus on unity and the fact that we have life today. Amen. Isn't it good to be able to stand and be walking around and smile? Let's be nice to these people. They work hard for us. Can we give them a round of applause? That's good. I like that attitude. I was talking to my police friends over here. I don't want anybody getting crazy in Downey, all right? All right, let's go before the Lord. Jesus Christ, thank you. You are King of kings, Lord of lords, God of gods. I ask that you would bless this city as you already have in so many ways. And Lord, we're thankful to see so many high schoolers here. God, they've just done some great accomplishments. And I ask that you would guide them as they continue to walk into the next season of adulthood and life, getting ready to go to college and work and all kinds of things. Lord, I ask that you would make them wise beyond their years, that they would have all the help that they need to succeed. And Jesus, for every single person in here representing different walks from Downey, God, I ask that you would touch them in special ways. Lord, they have different things that hurt them, that might hinder them, God, things that have even happened that are unfair. And Lord, I pray that you would heal every ailment. God, I just pray that you would bring financial resolution to every crisis. God, for those on the brink of relational destruction and devastation, I ask that you would just bring unity, God, healing and peace, and that you can reconcile and redeem even the most broken of things. And Lord, I ask that even if there are those here who might be disgruntled for good reasons, God, I ask that we would just speak peacefully to one another. Lord, that we would be uplifting. God, that we would come before our leaders of the city here, understanding that at their best, they are here to represent you. And God, this is your city. So Lord, I ask that you would allow us all to work together, that we might be able to make Downey be a city whose best days are in the future, not the past. So Lord, as this meeting goes forward, I ask that you would oversee it all. Keep everybody safe. Lord, allow us to accomplish good things here tonight and every day in the city of Downey. We thank you, Lord, and it's in the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Hicks. And please welcome up Girl Scout Troop 6751 for the flag salute.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your right hand over your heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Let's hear for Girl Scout Troop 6751.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls. Now is the time for City Council member announcements, requests for future agenda items, and conference and meeting reports. I'll start to my far right, Councilmember Trujillo.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to your City Hall. The taxpayers of the city pay for the City Hall, so it is yours. Welcome. I want to report out on some events that are coming up in our city. I grew up in the 80s. There was music called freestyle. Artists like Stevie B, Trinier, Lisa. We're bringing some of those artists here to the Downey Theater on May 3rd. Tickets are probably going to sell out, so please check it out. We're trying to bring out quality entertainment to Downey, and they're doing a great job in our theater. I want to thank my Kiwanis Club. In Downey, we have 53 churches, 42 registered nonprofits, and 14 service clubs. Kiwanis has 2, and the Afternoon Club donated a bench in memory of their 100th celebration of their existence. It's a beautiful bench. It's right outside our City Hall. There's shade, so if you're ever in the area and you want to just take a break, check out the Kiwanis bench. Thank you for that contribution to the city. Congratulations, Mayor Sosa, on your nonprofit summit. I had an opportunity to attend. I think it's fantastic that we're bringing together the nonprofits in the city to hopefully have a directory that we will make available to Downey and surrounding cities as to services. We firmly believe, and I think I speak for the council, that we know the number one thing you want from us is protection. You want to be protected, your family, your property, and then you want services. And there are lots of families in Downey that need services, and I was very proud to hear the great work the nonprofits are doing. Here in the city, we have limited resources. We prioritize police and fire. That's the bulk of our budget, because you want to be protected and you deserve the best protection possible. And then we have services. When families fall in need, there's help here in Downey, everything from food insecurity to housing. So please, if you know anyone that needs help, send them our way, give them our email, and we want to connect them. And Mayor Sosa, that's great that you're helping facilitate that. Thank you. The Arc Walk is coming up March 29th. We hope you'll join. That's another great city event. And that same day, we are honoring our Vietnam War vets, and so we invite you to join us for the memorial right outside City Hall around 10 a.m. to Saturday, March 29th, this Saturday. So we're busy. Thank you for coming here today. We're always accessible. You can find our emails, our phone numbers in the website. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Trujillo. To my far left, Councilmember Ortiz.
Thank you, Mayor. It's great to see everybody here. I'm going to keep my comments short. I know my council colleague mentioned that the number one thing that all residents are asking of us is security. And I know in my district there was some unwanted activity at Golden Park. And I want to emphasize that safety is our number one priority here at council. So I want to strengthen that commitment to protect families here. And I wanted to do some requests with the support of my colleagues. I wanted to see if we can have license plate readers at Golden Park to added security there.
Second.
Thank you. I also want to ask if we can, the third-party security company that we have, if we can permanently station them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights until everything gets fixed. And maybe with the chief, with the support, we can do a crime analysis on peak times. So I'm going to see if we can get some support for that.
Second.
Thank you. And I know that we're going to have cameras installed, and maybe Roger, our city manager, can discuss a little further on that.
Yes, thank you. So we do have a
some projects that we've been doing from year to year, and this is the year that we were installing security cameras at Golden Park. It's actually beginning within the next few weeks, and we plan to have those completed. Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, by the end of June. So there'll be new security cameras in the park. We'll increase our ability to see what's going on there, make sure if there's anything that has happened that we have good, solid evidence to respond to the incident, and make sure that we catch any perpetrators that are doing illegal things in our parks.
Thank you, Roger. And with that, I want to give thanks to our city manager, our police chief, and all the staff. Just like the rest of our council colleagues, staff really puts safety as the #1 priority for our community. So I just want to say thank you to our police chief, Roger, and staff. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. And lastly, I want to request for this budget cycle, if we can do an analysis on upgrading the playground at Brookshire Park. I'm going to see if we can also put that as a request.
Second.
Thank you. And with that, I conclude my comments, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Ortiz. Councilmember Fermetta.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I will try to keep my comments short. I know we have a lot of students that we want to congratulate for your efforts and your accomplishments. But welcome once again. I'm your council member, and it is always a pleasure to see you, those of you that are here present, but also those of you that are joining us via YouTube. I always say engaged communities are strong communities. I've had the opportunity to attend some events over the last couple of weeks, including the Read Across America afternoon group. As you know, all of us have daytime jobs, and sometimes it makes it very difficult to attend things in the morning hours. But I was able to attend Read Across America afternoon group at Alameda Elementary. Thank you, Alameda, for inviting us. The ability to go out in the community and interact with children and students is always one of my favorite things. So thank you for allowing me to do that. Also attended the Downey Elks reopening celebration that happened a couple of weeks ago. We were happy to see them reopen their doors after 16, 17 months of closure. And as my council colleague indicated, Downey is very fortunate to have so many nonprofit organizations that give back to the community. We want to make sure, and as was mentioned also, I know the mayor will get into more depth into the summit that he had. That list of nonprofits will be made available so that we know everybody is talking to each other and not duplicating efforts. It's been mentioned the Arc Walk is coming up this Saturday, as well as the Vietnam War Veterans Day Memorial Ceremony. As a representative for Downey on the Gateway Cities Council of Governments Board of Directors, as well as the Joint Powers Authority I-5, it is my pleasure to continue to advocate on behalf of Downey on various things, including the broadband and how this community can continue to receive funding on those projects, as well as the widening of the freeway. And this is a 605. I know I've received some emails from residents concerned about an environmental impact report that was initially indicated it would have an excessive number of home takings. That is not the case anymore, and I'm happy to report that that is not the case. That was going to be the I-5, and we fought very hard for that. Now, for the 605, we held a workshop and we held a community meeting last year. Other community meetings were held in adjacent cities that will be impacted with additional traffic for the 605 new HOV lanes that are planned in the coming months. But more information on that, I just want you to know that as your representatives, we also sit on different boards and committees outside of here, and we are constantly advocating for better options and better results for our Downey residents. There's a couple of things that I want to bring to our attention. And again, making sure that our residents know we are listening to you and we are acting appropriately on this. I've heard and I've seen that increase in transient activities throughout our city. And with that, I've had conversations with our city manager. My other colleagues are also aware, and we are making sure that we are moving these individuals out of places that they shouldn't be. We are also being more intentional in making sure that we are enforcing the no RV parking in residential streets and residential neighborhoods. That enforcement continues. I do want to also highlight and thank staff for this project that has been ongoing for the last several years, but now it's touching District 4, and that is the street repaving project north of Florence. I do have a question, City Manager, and perhaps our Director of Public Works, Mr. Baumgartner, can answer this. There's been some residents that would like to know when there is that street management plan and streets are being surveyed to be repaved and reconstructed as opposed to receiving the slurry seal. There are some concerns with a street with side view north of Gallatin, that small piece of side view street. They believe that street has not been repaved or reconstructed in at least 15 years, and they're concerned that the slurry seal is not going to be enough for that. If we can take a look at that again.
Take a look at it. I'm not sure that we have a slurry seal plan for that area, but we can get back to you with the full response on that.
Thank you. But again, thank you. I know our residents have been clamoring for those street reconstructive areas along Lubeck, along Otto Street and Pangborn. And so thank you. We have happy residents. And one thing that I would like to request for our code enforcement, and that is we continue to see excess trash and debris in our shopping strip malls, as well as some of our fast food restaurants. I know we're a big city of 114,000 people, and I'm glad our students and some parents are here. I know many of you frequent many of our local restaurants, and so we must continue to not only put debris and trash in the proper receptacle, but we also need to make sure that management in those centers are made aware that Downey has high standards. And again, I'm going to revisit the Gateway. That is an area that constantly needs cleaning, as well as the McDonald's on Florence and Lakewood, outside the Dollar Tree on Lakewood and Florence, Firestone and Patton, or Dolan. Again, throughout, it is, we do see transient activity and perhaps excess debris after that, but we want to make sure that our businesses and their management companies take a greater effort in making sure they're clean, those areas are clean. That will conclude my comments. Thank you for tonight. I do want to just mention one quick thing in our agenda this evening. You will see item number 6, and that is number 5, the approval of a enhanced city app. And for those of you that have brought to us issues regarding the city app, you take pictures of places that have graffiti or that have excess trash and debris, and that we had outgrown our app. Well, the good news is tonight we're going to be voting on this new enhanced app that integrates with code enforcement, this new volume that we will be doing. So I'm excited about that. Thank you for joining us tonight. That will conclude my comments.
I'll mark that one off my list. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Frumeta. Now, Mayor Pro Tem Pemberton.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our City Council meeting and to our Warren High CIF champions. Being a parent of 2 former Warren High athletes, I know the hard work and time that you've put in. And to the Uber and Lyft parents, you've put in a lot of time as well. This is the month of March, and as this is Women's History Month, we acknowledge many women whose talents and contributions have made a significant impact to others in the community. Last Saturday, my colleagues and I attended Assemblywoman Blanca Pacheco's event, which recognized women from the surrounding cities she represents. Kathy Crow Perez was selected as Downey's nominee for Woman of the Year. Kathy has been a member of the Downey Conservancy Organization, which promotes the rich history of Downey and also commemorates many activities. Last year, she helped organize the Carpenters' 55th anniversary of their signing of their Capitol Records recording contract. So she's truly a gem to Downey. And as mentioned before, this Saturday is called National Vietnam War Day, which commemorates the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War in 1975. I also attended many committees and meetings, and one that I am involved with is Vector, the Los Angeles County Vector Council. So there's no mosquitoes to report. It's still cool weather. However, if you leave standing water, they can easily start breeding. So please keep all your water vessels empty. If you see a green pool from a neighbor that is not maintained, you might peek over the fence, please call Vector, and they will come out and spray it and take care of that. Their number is 562-944-9656. And we have many people listening online, so you can always hear the playback for the number. I also am on the SIACA board with six other board members. As an update with union negotiations, we are getting hopefully to a resolution soon. And on another item, I've asked the director to apply for one of our community grant allocations so that we can help fund and spay and neuter our cats in Downey. We don't have a program right now to help either with low cost or free spay and neuter. There's a lot of cats. Hopefully that there will be a recipient, and then many other groups that have applied to will be also recipients. I also want to bring to light maybe volunteer opportunities for high school students at our animal shelter. Our director is working on that and options that we can have. And we just need to, as a public, spay and neuter our pets. Many remember Betty White. That's the whole key right there. We have an overpopulation. I'm a cat lady. On the consent calendar highlights, as my colleague had mentioned, that we are getting a new app, which is going to be great. I use it a lot. But I'd like to call to attention item number 3 for some. This is approving the contract for the Downey Avenue paving project. You can see we do a lot of paving. Many people have been asking on social media, we need Downey Avenue. Well, now you're getting Downey Avenue all the way south from Garfield, all the way north to Gallatin. This is a $2.2 million project, and we will also be changing a little bit of the traffic in the sense that there will be bike lanes. It's called traffic calming measures. Some parts of the Downey Avenue might become one lane with a dedicated bike lane like you see by Old River School Road and Stauffer. Other areas may just show what they call a charo on the ground, a path of a bike with an arrow, how you can travel. So the residents on Downey Avenue have been notified. The city has done an outreach program, and so that should be starting soon. We received money. It's part of our bicycle master plan, where in 2015 we received Caltrans and Metro funding, $250,000 from Caltrans for developing the plan, and $2.3 million from Metro from implementation on our streets for the plan. So it's going to combine the best of both, a little bit of bike path and the arrows to show where it's more calm. So it's kind of like Brookshire. Then I would like to mention and thank staff for parking enforcement from the police department. Sergeant Rodriguez knows me well. Thank you also with code enforcement. We've had a number of trailers, toy haulers, motor homes on residential streets. They cause hazard and visibility to see and cross. Residents are very thankful. They reached out thanking that their driveways, their streets are clear so that they can have good sight. So residents, you need to keep your RV in a site that has parking for storage. However, if you want to bring out your RV for, say, 3 days to load it, to clean it, to get it ready, you need to have a city permit, and then you can keep it on the street for 3 days. You can have several, I think 6 times a year. Boats are not allowed. We're noticing a lot of boats. I have boats in alleys. I see my colleagues saying yes. So we're going to come around, and I'm going to make sure those boats get put somewhere else as well and not in driveways. Rio Hondo Golf Course is being well maintained. I'd like to thank staff for that. I'm not sure if it's our staff that's doing the sidewalks along Old River. The parking lot is looking good too, but we're getting good results from our maintenance company, so thank you. And our homeless field team, our police, and Park and Rec for clearing encampments that are along the riverbed, but the bike paths. We've had some residents be verbally accosted in encampments, blocking their paths, and they were cleared out. Even a non-resident who sent us a letter about a month ago, who was also accosted by someone's dog out there. He thanked us, and he thanked Downey for how we took quick action. Thank you, Chief, for getting people out in Public Works as well. It should be a safe place to travel, and so we'll make sure of that. We have a homeless hotline that I'd like you to also take a look at and call if you see encampments and such, 562-299-6770. We've mentioned some concerts that are coming up here, Councilmember Trujillo. We have a Frozen sing-along at the Downey Theater, April 13th. Anyone interested? We have the 80s freestyle. We have a mariachi on May 11th. And May 16th, where's my rockers? This is Wild Child. They're the Doors tribute band. May 16th. And then we also have another band that's a Cuban band that's coming up. So go on the website, take a look at www.downeytheater.org. There's a Keep Downey Beautiful cleanup. We have a lot of volunteers. Kids need service hours. Students are always looking for it. The Downey Court comes out April 5th. It's always the first Saturday of the month at 9 a.m. This will be over by the Del Taco parking lot. So come at 9 a.m. You only stay 1 hour, help clear up the area, and keep Downey clean. And you can see other future dates. There might be some cards in the back. And I'd like one follow-up, please, City Manager. We had an accident, another accident, a bad one. Old River School Road, Old River School Speedway, as I call it, and Rio Flora. Rio Flora is a residential east-west street, and many times cars are trying to go north on Old River. It took out the neighbor's fence. They had a block wall there and wrought iron, and it's not the first time. I'd like to consider doing some type of a traffic survey, perhaps even putting in a signal and having some signal there, because in the future, we have Dinwiddie coming through, heavy residential area. We have Pellet coming through, multifamily. They all come out Rio Flora, and they're trying to get across. So let's see if we can do something for that. Many have asked that we could maybe have a light.
I'll second that one.
Thank you. And then I'd like to look into making sure that we have a construction project on the island. We have the Olson condos, but it also gives access to Scout, which is a commercial area. A resident on Guatemala is seeing construction trucks go through Guatemala and not down Suva. So maybe we can make sure, or have maybe some more patrols go through, that we don't have heavy construction trucks during the daytime going in the residential areas. And we have to check our Suva bridge tonnage limitation as well. And you'll be glad to know that I will close my council comments so we can get to the business at hand. Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah. People are clapping for the end of your comments. That's great. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It's nice to see a sea of warm blue in the crowd. All right. Go Bears. I figured I'd get a nice response from that. You know, it's great for the students to be here. We're going to recognize you for your awesome accomplishment. I'll get into that when I go down to the podium. But you know, you also get to partake in a little bit of you know, witness civic action right in front of you. So it's a good thing. A lot of important decisions are made here in these chambers. So it's good for you to see this. I do have a few comments. Report, I did attend a sanitation district meeting for LA County. Nothing to report there. I also attended the Good Gangs Out of Downey luncheon a week and a half back. And we did have, as our guest speaker, which people were excited about, our new district attorney, Nathan Hockman. That went really well. People were moved by his speech. And people are excited about what he's going to bring to the table as our new district attorney in LA County. Also, as mentioned by a couple of my colleagues, we had the first ever nonprofit summit here in the city of Downey. Thank you, Councilmember Trujillo, for being there and for those kind words. And thank you for your kind words for Meta. But really just all we had to do, I saw an opportunity for the city to be a catalyst to bring some of our wonderful nonprofits in the community together to better serve our community. And all we had to do was put it together and provide space. And it was a very successful event. And what that means to you as stakeholders in this community, whether you work, live, or play in Downey, these nonprofits offer a lot of great services to our stakeholders here in the community. And what I wanted to do was just bring them to the table, share information, and work with each other, build those relationships so we can build a database that's going to be made available on our city website very soon. And basically what we're going to have is information on each of the organizations, what they do, what their criterias are, phone numbers, hours of contact. And you're going to have some of these organizations that the school district was there, the Downey PD was there, and we're going to have resources available to us where someone there may be a family in immediate need of help. They may be displaced from their homes for financial reasons, or for domestic abuse reasons, or for drug addiction reasons, what have you. So just putting all these nonprofits together to collaborate is a good thing for the community. We're gonna have a master database available to all residents. You'll know who to contact for what, and we're gonna keep building on that. And it's a really good thing for our community. We'll have additional resources outside of City Hall. So stay tuned for that. And also, I wanted to mention that, Councilmember Fermetta brought this up. We do have our Vietnam War Veterans 50th Anniversary Celebration this Saturday, just outside Civic Center from 10 a.m., or it starts at 10 a.m. And I just wanted to share that also, if you know a Vietnam veteran, that Congressman Robert Garcia is providing lapel pins for all Vietnam War veterans. If they show up, they'll be gifted those pins. So if you can spread the word if you know of any. Also, I do want to announce, we just found out a couple of hours ago that the city of Downey was awarded and allocated $500,000 for homelessness efforts from Measure A through LA County. So we're all excited about that. That's going to help a lot. And I do have one request. Oh, actually, I do want to mention one more event that's coming up. For those of you who know, we take a lot of pride in the Columbia Memorial Space Center here. We're looking at groundbreaking this spring for the expansion of the Space Center. There's a lot of history there, and that's responsible for the Apollo Space Shuttle 13. And what we're going to do is really expand upon the Space Center that we have. We have the Space Shuttle mock-up, which is housed on Bellflower right now temporarily. It's going to make its way over to the Space Center. Oh, sorry. That's my son. He's a Warren Bear calling me right now. I forgot to turn off my ringer.
Can't pick him up now.
No, I can't pick him up right now. I do want to announce, stay tuned for events for the Space Center. We're really excited about that. A lot of legacy, a lot of history there. And Downey will be the regional hub for STEM education for future scientists, engineers, and astronauts. But I do want to mention the City of STEM through the City of Downey has been named by LA County as the official science festival of LA County. And on April 12th at Exposition Park, if you have a chance to go, please go to the City of STEM Festival. It's all day. I believe it starts at 8 a.m. There's going to be like over 200 booths and a lot of cool attractions for our youth to get them excited about all things science and STEM. So April 12th at Exposition Park. And then lastly, I do have a request for staff. I do want to thank staff for helping me with my initiative of putting that nonprofit summit together. So thank you to staff, to Vanya and the team. And sorry. I should answer, just tell him, hey, I'm here with a bunch of your colleagues. I'm sorry about that. Some of you may know my son, but I won't out him right now. Anyways, we have, I do have a request for staff that I want to commend staff for doing the research and digging up actual proof and evidence that we have an estates area that exists, Rolling Green Estates, in the Temple Park area in South Downey. It's something that hasn't been brought up in a few decades, but it does exist, and I do want to request some type of signage and a ceremony to recognize the residential area around Temple Park as Rolling Green Estates.
Second that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And with that said, that concludes my comments. I'll move it on to.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, before City Manager, I did have an additional request, and I know I spoke with the City Manager about this, but you reminded me also because you mentioned the Gangs Out of Downey luncheon with the new DA, Nathan Hotchman. And as you know, with new initiatives coming out of the DA's office, I think it's important that we have our through our social media platforms, that our police department, that law enforcement puts out, new marketing materials that indicate Downey, if you commit a crime in Downey, you will be not only arrested, but you will be prosecuted. I think the last year and years prior, people were going to a lot of our shopping centers, and because they could steal under $1,000, it was a free-for-all. And I think it's important with new initiatives that we have a new message going out.
Thank you, Councilmember Fumeta. All right, we'll move it on to our City Manager, Roger Bradley.
Just, is there a second on that last item?
I'll second.
Thank you. Just a couple of items recapping here. We'll get back to you on the slurry seal up on the north side of Gallatin, Councilman Fermetta, as well as, say again? Side view.
North of Gallatin.
North of Gallatin, thank you. And as well as looking at code enforcement at our restaurants and some of the commercial areas such as Dollar Tree, the Gateway area, making sure that we look for trash and debris. Happy to do that. And the other request was look at some of the traffic going down through the Suva area and the residential areas. We'll have code enforcement PD take a look at those and make sure the traffic plans are being followed. And that concludes staff's remarks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll make my way down to the podium for some special announcements here, or presentations. All right, so good evening. We're here for a special recognition of a couple of soccer clubs, soccer teams for Warren High. It's an amazing feat to have, for a high school to have a team go all the way and win the title of CIF championship. But to have two of them with two completely different coaching systems is amazing. Before we get into all this, we got to give everybody involved, the parents, administration, of course, the players, coaches, let's give them all a round of applause right now. And I get excited about this because I'm an old Warren Bear, so is my wife. My son's a Warren Bear, and I have another one who just graduated last year, so, oh, yeah. Yes, Councilmember Fermetta. We went to school. We went to Warren High around the same time, and her husband. So we'll start with the Warren High School boys varsity soccer team. The boys varsity soccer team this season was riddled with obstacles and adversity. This team showed an amazing spirit, never giving up on themselves, and fighting with tenacity for one another. They stayed the course even when they were tested, and they came out stronger because of the tribulations they faced. They played all season with a balance of ferocity and discipline. They never succumbed to the pressure, and they played with assuredness and confidence even when they were down. Through most of the playoffs, they proved to be dominant, controlling possession and managing the game with grace. The boys soccer team overcame so much to attain ultimate greatness, and their fortitude laid the foundation from which Warren Boys Soccer will continue to grow. And at this time, I will go ahead and call up each of the members one by one. And let's see. So what I'll do is I'll call the coaches up. We do have certificates for the coaches. And again, for me, each mayor gets to recognize residents who are doing amazing work in the community. There's different criteria. But for me, once I heard about the success of both soccer clubs, I kind of switched things up. I kind of opened up my mayor's recognition award to the public. I want to be able to recognize people I've never even heard of. So keep that in mind. If you have anybody that you know that's doing some amazing work in the community, please reach out to City Hall. I want to hear about them. We want to hear about them so we can recognize them. So this Mayor's Outstanding Citizen Award usually goes to individuals, but this is a no-brainer. We want to elevate these kids for their successes. And the players, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, hopefully not too much blood out there. But we understand behind a successful team, there's a lot of time and effort in planning, game plans, making sure the lineup's correct by the coaches. I know, not to this level, but I coached many years in rec ball at West Downey Little League as well. But for you guys to guide these kids and be mentors and make them winners, not just on the field, but in life. I do commend you coaches for coming up with the game plan, and also the administration for the support and making this happen. Sam, everybody loves Sam, right? Okay. Dr. White, of course, Dr. White. And also the parents for making. Yeah, you didn't just wake up and say these kids are going to play soccer. There's a lot of travel, club soccer, and a lot of travel for years. Some of these kids put their cleats on when they were like 2, right? It's a lot of sacrifice. So I commend you parents for getting them out there, dragging little Johnny or little Susie out there on the field when maybe it's a little cold or something. But great job to you parents. So I will call up the coaches to help me. We're gonna recognize them and to help me pass out these certificates of recognition to our boys varsity team. I'll first call up Miguel Pena, head coach. We'll bring up Carlos Soto Castillo, head coach. Yeah, I need some. Omar Lopez, assistant coach. And assistant coach Victor Silva. Okay, now we'll bring up the players one by one. Christian Alvarez. Well, he's got. got enough? All right, you good? All right. Brian Alvarez. All right, let's hear it for Lulu. Alexander Bereza. These kids are pretty shy, I can tell, right? All right, here we go. Ian Bobadilla. Dylan Camacho. No, I'm not going to repeat all that. Angel Carrasco. Alexander Chicas. All right, you couldn't make it. Nicholas De Leon. Luke Fragoso. Omar Garcia. Sebastian Guzman. Juan Hernandez. Daniel Jimenez. Sebastian Lagarda. Damian Lopez.
Go, Damien!
Brandon Lopez. Antonio Lopez. Kristen Mancia. Diego Montes. Daniel Natareno. Ibrahim Ojeda. Anthony Ortiz. Sebastian Pelayo. Joan Ramirez. Brian Ramirez. George Reyes. Oh, we have a Tony Romo, Anthony Romo. You a Cowboys fan? No? All right. Ezekiel Santana. Yeah. Xavier Santivanes. Okay. Dylan Sears. And Adrian Soto Diaz. Congratulations. All right, one more round of applause for this whole group. And we're gonna hear a few words from is it head coach? We go. Oh, Carlos. Carlos and Carlo, a player or two. So, Coach Carlo, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you guys, all the parents, all the family members in here. Again, we can't reiterate how much you guys have an impact on the success of these young men. To you guys, tremendous season. Seniors, raise your hand real quick. What a way to go out. After all these 4 years, you've been through a lot. You've been through winning seasons, losing seasons, and this season is a great one to end your career with. Come back and share your knowledge with the youngsters that are coming back. Juniors, be ready for next year because it's going to be tough. Once you're on top, everybody wants to bring you down. So juniors, you're going to be those guys. So be ready. And underclassmen, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You got a few years, but why not get another CIF championship ring in those years? To our athletic director, thank you so much, Sam, for all the support that you do. Our principal, Dr. Carrie White, you are amazing. Thank you for giving us the school. Mr. Heike, tremendous support that you give to us. All our administrators at Warren. The school at Warren, it is the best school in the city, and that's what allows us to thrive and to do what we can do with the facilities, with the teaching, everything. And to also the city of Downey, thank you so much for all that you do for making it a great place for us to have a good school, have good communities, have good environments for us to actually do what we need to do. Again, I can go all the way to California, the United States, to the earth, but at the end of the day, all glory to God, who makes all these things come through for us, that gives us the spirit, the ability to live in this time and to experience the lows and the extreme highs that we get from the sport that we love. All glory to God, all glory to the Most High. That's it. And right now we'll bring up our MVP, our Capi, Ezekiel Cheque Santana.
Hello, good evening to everybody that came out today. We appreciate you guys' support and everything. First off, giving thanks to the board for the acknowledgement on this amazing season that we had. Next thing for our administration, like Coach Carlos said, Ms. Miyahara, Heike, and Ms. Principal White for always supporting us and giving us the things we needed to achieve this amazing accomplishment this season. And to our 4 coaches that were there supporting us no matter what. Been through a lot with us, a lot of not problems, but like, a lot of rough patches. But at the end of the day, we were able to come out as a family, and it meant a lot, especially to us seniors, being able to go out like this. Like I said, it means a lot. To all our players that were with us through this season, thank you for making it a memorable one. There was many times where we probably didn't want to go out of practice during our breaks or stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that it was worth it. Being able to win it, carry the plaque, and eventually get our rings, it was all worth it. And like how Coach said, all glory to God. With His strength, we were able to come out on top on the field. And thank you to everybody.
All right, we're going to try to take a group picture here. So with all the coaches, if we can get some of the administrators in this picture as well. So let's all get closer, guys. Yeah.
Some more can go on this side.
All right, guys, let's look at this one here. We go 1, 2, and straight out. Let's do it more. 1, 2, and good. And that's 1,
Let me read it. Let me read it first. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, the second half of this acknowledgement and celebration, the Warren High School girls varsity soccer team. The Warren High girls soccer team was currently on a 7-game unbeaten streak, 6-0-1. showcasing not only their exceptional skill, but also their strong teamwork and school spirit. Their recent victories included a 9-0 win over GAR, a 2-0 triumph over crosstown rival Downey, a 5-0 victory against Dominguez, and a 2-0 win over Linwood, reflecting the team's unity and determination. The Lady Bears played some of their best soccer of the season, with each player contributing to the team's success. The teamwork displayed on the field has been matched by the incredible support from the school community, creating an atmosphere of pride and excitement. The Lady Bears are motivated by both their own success and the spirit of their school. I will mention that not only are the Lady Bears the CIF champs, proud CIF champs, but they made it all the way to the final for the state regional final, and they left it all out in the field and just came up short in that final game against a beast of a team. But they made it all the way. I think they're capped out at 28 games? Amazing. Not only CIF champs, but then they went on further and came real close to that state title. So let's cheer for these Lady Bears. So again, I will call the coaches up first, and then we'll call the players up. Head coach Lily Dusan. Head coach Marcos Garcia. Assistant coach Jaslyn Arevalo. Okay. Assistant coach Monique Cervantes. And assistant coach Jessica Perez. Okay, we'll call the players up now. Serena Amalwes. Caitlin Baron. All right. Tell your dad I said hi.
I will. He's meeting right now.
Oh, he's at his meeting, okay. Her father's a city councilman for Southgate? Yes. Okay. Yuriana Blanco. Allison Bravo. Aubrey Camacho. Is it Jaslyn Cervantes? Is Jocelyn Coro? Alexis Delgado. Ariana Elias. You guys ever scrimmage the boys? No? All right, sorry. Haley Hernandez Represa. Here we go. Here's the plaque. Congratulations. Ella Blue Lopez. Alexa Manjares Velarde. Alexa Martinez. Some of these kids are practicing for next year already. Amy Noguera. Isabella Ponce. Not sure what's going on there. We're going to move on. Mariana Prado. Maylin Salazar. Haley Salazar. Congratulations. Helen Soriano. Rin Soto. Delaney Sullivan. Andrea Viada. And Amelia Villegas. All right. Now I'll turn it over to head coach Lily Desan.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and everyone here tonight. My name is Lily Dusan, and I'm honored to stand here before you as we celebrate a truly special achievement, our girls soccer team winning the CIF championship. We're the first team ever at Warren High School to win a CIF championship for girls soccer, so they're making history, they're leaving a legacy, and we're also the first team to make it to a state final for Warren High School, so these girls really outdid themselves. We really, truly made it to the end, and I'm very, very proud. First and foremost, I just want to thank our city, our school administration for their unwavering support, the investment that our athletic director, our principal, Mr. Heike, that they put into these athletes, our facilities, the programs, makes victories like this possible. I'm not sure if our city council members were able to attend any games, but our stadium we really used it this year to the max with those new lights and that new sound system, and it was just, we traveled and we got to go to other campuses, and we truly are spoiled, and just want to say thank you for that support, because it was phenomenal to win, having all of that as well to make it just that much more special. And of course, to our amazing girls, congratulations. Your hard work, your determination, your sacrifice, your commitment really brought home this championship, and I could not be prouder. We could not be prouder of you. This group of seniors that we had in our team, I think we put a lot of pressure on them, as 4 years ago when they came in, we kind of set that bar and said, this is a group that's going to make history for us. This is the group that I really truly thank you ladies for, because not only being a Warren alum, all of my coaches here are Warren alums as well. It holds a special place in my heart that you guys did this for yourselves, for your families, but you also did this for me and our coaches. So I just want to say thank you for that, and for bringing home that championship that I really, really long to have in my career as a coach. This victory is more than just a title. It's your testament to the resilience and the passion and the unity of our community. And I just want to say thank you for being part of this journey. I want to thank our parents for that commitment that you made to your daughters over these years. And I hope that not only did they win a championship this year, but but after this, that they're able to take a little bit from this program, from what we taught them off the field, on the field, and apply that to their lives and be successful in whatever it is that they decide to do. So ladies, congratulations, and to everybody here, thank you. Our captains could not be here tonight. They're actually flying right now to Florida for a soccer tournament. Many of the girls not here tonight, it's because of soccer. So you were right, Mayor. But I do have our seniors, Haley Hernandez-Nepesa and Aubrey Camacho, that are going to say a few words to you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Haley Hernandez, and I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for coming out. These past 4 years, we have been blessed with being a part of the Orange Women's Soccer Program, and honestly, this year we were able to show all our hard work and perseverance and how it paid off. I want to start off by saying thank you to our coaches and our coaching staff, because without them, I don't think we would have gotten where we got in today. All the dedication they put into this program, all the love, all the waking up early to get a head start of practice, and our hard work on and off the field, and not even to mention their love for this program has been amazing. I also wanted to say a huge thank you to the girls, from our one freshie who worked hard, and to our 2 sophomores that held ground back there, and then to all our juniors who has supported us on and off the field, and to our 12 seniors who we really wanted to go out on a bang and leave no regrets, and I believe left their blood and sweat and tears on that field.
Everyone worked their hardest and always gave it their 100%, regardless of injuries, being sore, and being tired. Their hard work did not go unnoticed, and we are so beyond proud of this team. Every game, we said the same thing to each other. We aren't playing for the crowd, but for one another, and no matter what you do, leave your heart out on the field, play like it's your last game. That is what pushed us the furthest. It was amazing for both programs to win, as it was the first time in program history, and it meant more to us winning our senior year, as this has been our goal for 3 years. This goes to show how having the support of friends, coaches, and family can help achieve amazing things that will never be forgotten. So thank you for everyone who supported us on this amazing journey. And thank you, Warren Women's Soccer, for bringing us much joy and many great memories that will always hold a dear part of our hearts.
So we'll take a picture right now, but I will close with this. Congratulations to everyone. The Mayor's Outstanding Citizen Award. Sky's the limit for these kids. And I just have one request. One caveat for receiving this award is to go on, be successful, and then when you're in a position to pay it forward for the young soccer players coming up, and that goes for you too, you boys as well. Pay it forward to the young ones coming up. So thank you very much. God bless you guys.
I'm going to put it on you guys.
Your older sister.
Here we go. There is one public hearing this evening, zoning text amendment of the Downey Municipal Code regulating accessory dwelling units, ADUs, and junior ADUs in all residential zones. That City Council introduced an ordinance amending Section 9414 and 9706 of Article 9 of the Downey Municipal Code relating to accessory dwelling units and junior ADUs, and sections within Chapter 1 of Article 9 containing definitions. The hour having arrived, the public hearing is now open. The time is now 7:50. City Clerk Duarte, do you have proof of publication?
I do, Mayor.
Can I have a motion and a second to receive and file the publication?
So moved.
Please vote.
The motion is approved unanimously.
Thank you. City Manager Bradley, is there a staff report?
Yes, Mayor. Irma Huitron, our Community Development Director, will introduce the item, and Senior Planner Abraham Luna will provide the presentation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and City Manager Bradley. Tonight's item is an item that staff has been working on for quite some time in response to the Department, State Housing of Community Development, State Department feedback on our previous ordinance that we prepared. And tonight, Abraham Luna, our Senior Planner, will be providing an overview of staff's efforts to bring the ordinance up to date according to state regulations, and also a summary of the Planning Commission action taken on this item. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Luna. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Sosa, Mayor Pro Tem Pemberton, and members of the City Council. For your consideration tonight, we have PLN 25-00014, a zoning text amendment. This is a city-initiated ordinance relating to accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling units in all residential zones. These units are also known as ADUs and JADUs. Since the introduction of the ADU law in 2016, there has been a total of 17 bills that amend the government code section to regulate ADUs. All 17 bills were summarized in the staff report and can be referenced as attachment B in your agenda packet. These changes to legislation from the Assembly and Senate create the need for cities to update the local ordinance to remain in compliance with state law. Since the introduction of ADUs, the city has adopted the ordinance in 2018 and amended in 2023. So state law mandates that all cities must allow an ADU that meets certain minimum provisions from the government code section. These are referred to as statewide exempt ADUs, which can be found in government code section 66323. These ADUs are not required to comply with local development standards, which we will talk about on the next slide. So on the left, you have ADU types for properties with single-family homes. First is an ADU that has been converted from existing space and has an exterior access from the primary home. This can create a ADU and a JADU. Second, a newly constructed ADU that can be attached or detached of 800 square feet or less and meets the minimum 4-foot setbacks for side and rear. And separately, in multifamily on the right-hand side, the conversion of inhabitable space limited to 25% of the existing number of units. And lastly, the creation of up to 8 detached ADUs depending on the existing number of units on the property, or at the minimum, at least 2 ADUs for proposed multifamily dwellings that meet the 4-foot setbacks. ADUs outside of these standards are required to comply with the provisions outlined below. These are the city-specific development standards that you see on the screen, which were created for ADU development to ensure high-quality design that reflect the property's characteristics. I'll highlight a few, not to go through them all, but these characteristics are covered front entries that are consistent or compatible with the primary dwelling. Front entrances are to be oriented towards the street. Second-story windows and glass doors for ADUs shall be frosted and obscured. ADUs larger than 500 square feet are required to have a washer and dryer connections. And lastly, the maximum ADU size is limited to 1,000 square feet and must comply with the local development standards such as floor area, lot coverage, setbacks, front setbacks, and design standards. Regardless of statewide exempt ADUs or ADUs that must meet the city-specific development standards, on the screen is a summary of the types of ADUs that are allowed in general. So on the left, you have properties developed with single-family homes. The 2 types of examples we commonly see are single-family homes developed with a detached, newly constructed ADU and a converted garage, and a JADU that has been converted from existing space connected to the home. Second scenario you have is a single-family home with a converted, detached garage into an ADU with a newly constructed ADU attached to the home and a JADU that has been converted from existing livable space. And on the right, you have multifamily properties which can have up to 8 detached ADUs, but limited to no more than the existing number of units on the property. And in addition to multifamily dwellings, you can allow the conversion of inhabitable space into ADUs. That number of ADUs are limited to 25% of the existing number of units. The proposed ordinance incorporates comments from the California State Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD. Comments were provided following the adoption of the previous ordinance in 2023. HCD met with previous staff to discuss certain provisions that did not comply with state law. On the left, you see a summary of those provisions identified by HCD, and on the right is how staff resolved them. The deficiencies identified were related to the number of ADUs allowed on a single-family lot. State law allows that combination of converted ADU, new constructed ADUs, and JADUs on a single-family lot. Second, a JADU is only allowed for single-family homes, not multifamily. Third, how height is measured cannot differ from other residential development in the city. Fourth, D restrictions can only be required for JADUs, not all types of ADUs. Fifth, the city cannot enforce rent reporting for ADUs when it is not enforced for other residential developments. And sixth, city-specific development and design standards can only be required for ADUs that are not statewide exempts. And second to last item is the city cannot enforce the location of an ADU entrance on the second floor. And lastly, the city cannot require washer and dryer connections for ADUs. And all these items have been addressed in the proposed ordinance by either removing the text or amending the language to comply. In summary, the proposed ordinance has been updated to be consistent with state laws, provide clarifying language to facilitate its use by staff and the public, and rectify any deficiencies identified by HCD. In addition, staff has drafted educational handouts that address frequently asked questions to assist the public in ADU development. The ADU ordinance is supported by the housing element chapter of the general plan, specifically program 1.4. It states that the DMC shall not be a barrier to ADU development, and it should also constantly update the DMC to reflect state law changes and implement pre-approved ADU plans for residents and create a user-friendly webpage with educational tools and handouts for the general public. And below, you'll find the recent numbers throughout the years from ADU development, starting from 2018 and most recently for 2024. Prior to the City Council hearing, the Planning Commission heard this item on February 19th, 2025, and recommended approval to the City Council with a 5-0 vote. Notice of the public hearing was published in the Downey Patriot as a 1/8 ad, as required by the Downey Municipal Code. The ad was published on February 6th for the Planning Commission and March 13th for the City Council. And staff has not received any correspondence by the public for this item. In conclusion, staff recommends that the City Council introduce an ordinance amending sections 9414 and 9706 of Article 9 of the Downey Municipal Code relating to accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling units, and sections within Chapter 1 of Article 9 containing definitions. And that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Abraham. Appreciate that detailed report. Do any members of the council have any questions or comments for Abraham?
Just a brief comment, Mayor. I just want to say thank you for the detailed report. And again, it is important for the City of Downey to adhere to state law and make sure that our standards are in alignment so that we don't have confusing or varying standards. And I think that's that reflects our 5-0 vote at the previous or the first hearing we had. Right. My only question is, what what type of brochures, or how can we look at what type of materials are going to be readily available for the public to know the expectations and the standards and that we're abiding by state law?
Yeah, so staff has drafted guidelines or handouts with constant questions that we get by the public, which is how many ADUs can we have, what's the maximum square footage, just frequent information to guide a applicant or even a designer or realtor to develop ADUs on their property. We're also developing with staff a webpage that would be part of our planning division with links to our handouts that we will be providing at the counter, for example, and even state links for the ADU handbook that's published by HCD to further assist the public in those scenarios.
When do we think those will be completed, and are those going to be publicized broadly in the city's website, so that individuals don't have to necessarily go searching for them, that they're right there? I know we have that menu with all of the various departments, but if this is something that we're doing now to update and that list of FAQs.
Yeah, we are ready to update. We were waiting for this to be adopted to publish, but we could maybe publish sooner.
Yeah, so our plan, thank you for that question. The plan, as we're developing the tools that Abraham mentioned, are in progress. As we were getting close to the second reading is when we were planning to launch the website materials, because the code would be in effect 30 days after the second reading. So we were lining it up, completion along those timelines.
Thank you, Irma. Thank you, Abraham. No further questions.
Thank you.
I have a question. We all know that ADUs add value to property, and so I can see a valuation of $100,000, $200,000 to the property itself, which increases the tax base. The assessor will then reassess the property, and that also brings a little bit revenue back to our city. In looking at a junior ADU that's attached to an existing family house, on the permits, do they show a valuation? I mean, it doesn't have to have a kitchenette, or it has a bathroom, a sleeping quarter. What type of valuation have you seen or comes across where they say this will be about? Does it change the property tax base on a junior?
So unfortunately, for tax purposes, the city doesn't look at those items. That's more of a county assessment. For city purposes, what we look at valuation-wise is how much construction costs would cost for that ADU, and that's based on standard valuations per square foot. So per square foot, if we're converting to an ADU, a JADU specifically, there's already a valuation that we have based on the square footage that they are converting.
You have a calculation, you have a table and such, so the applicant doesn't put that in. Because sometimes when you say you're adding AC, what's the cost or valuation? You have to add that on the permit, I recall.
Correct, yeah. So we would get that information based on the square footage that they provide on the plans, for example. So if it's 500 square feet, permit techs at the building division will input that data into our system, and it will generate a valuation.
Do you have a standard price per square foot that you use?
There is a standard price per square foot. Unfortunately, I don't have that information, but it is
200 or something?
It is available to the public.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
I just have one question. Does each ADU have to have a separate water line from the main property, from the main dwelling?
It is required to have separate. It is not required to have separate utilities. I apologize. Let me look at the report real quick. I may have maybe some.
You can get back to me on that.
Yeah, I know that information.
I was just
is
curious.
I can't recall. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You can get back to me on that. Thank you. Any other comments, colleagues, questions? Okay.
The question of utilities, I'm also curious as to water lines and gas lines and electricity lines. How does it work?
I can chime in on that if I may. Thank you for those questions related to utilities. So there's a specific state laws that have been recently adopted that are aimed at ensuring that cities' codes do not pose a barrier to development, and that's coming from the state. And with that is limitations on the cities requiring a separate meter, utility meters. So if I recall correctly, and we can check back with Abraham and following maybe a few questions or later this evening, but separate utilities are generally not required, which means that the owner or the property owner can decide on their own if they want separate utility meters, but it's not mandatory by the city. So some property owners would want separate utility meters because they want to have separate ways of charging people or keeping an accounting of those utilities. But there's certain meters that are not where we're not allowed to mandate them. And I think Abraham might have the full answer right now.
Correct, yeah. And thank you for that question. So for newly converted ADUs are not required to have separate utility connections, so they can have the same connection with the home. If the homeowner, however, chooses to have a separate meter, then that is available to the homeowner.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
How about sewage connections? Do ADUs have to have separate sewage connections, or can that ADU's sewage line connect to the single-family residence line in front?
So it can connect to the existing sewer line of the property. I know it is costly to connect it, for example, directly to the main line outside of the private property in the public right-of-way. So that it is better to connect it to the existing sewer line.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions, colleagues? Okay. I will now open this up for this item for public comment. City Clerk Duarte, did we receive any written correspondence to be incorporated into the record?
We did not, Mayor.
Thank you. Members of the audience wishing to address the city council regarding the public hearing item may come up when your number is called. I will be calling yellow number cards for this item. I remind speakers you have 3 minutes to address the city council, and your comments must be regarding this public hearing item only. City Clerk Duarte, how many speakers have taken a number?
We have 2, Mayor.
Thank you. Speaker number 1, please come forward. Good evening.
Good evening. ADUs. Got to stay in accordance with state mandates. You have shown no leadership to oppose any of this stuff. You have went headlong in this cultural suicide of destroying the single-family unit dwelling neighborhoods. You have gone headlong with it. And some of you have had plenty of opportunity to change course, but you have chosen not to. And to act like you don't know how the sewer lines work or anything like that. Mr. Mayor, you have a friend that's running an ADU shop right out of downtown Downey to build as many ADUs as they possibly can in cooperation with the son of District 5. So you're actively pursuing and adhering and expediting the cultural suicide of the city of Downey. Now, we know the state is broken under the Democrat Party leadership. And now we know the city council in Downey is broken because you have all gone full bore to hard left, big government, tax and spend, liberal Democrat, pedo cult policies. You've gone full bore. You've ignored the single family dwellings. You actively try to pursue policies that are insane and they're just cultural suicide, but you don't care because you hate America. You don't like what America stands for. You always have. And you don't act like you're trying to preserve safety for people and the residents of the city. ADUs, we need to also have a policy of how is it acceptable amount of cars per unit. Is it going to be 8, 9, or 10 cars acceptable per unit that you're going to propose? Well, that's what we have now in Downey. City of Downey is broken. It's broken. You, Mayor, had an opportunity when you first got in as a council to change the direction, but you went the other way. And that'll be another discussion. But in this issue, the ADUs, total annihilation of the single family dwellings. And you're still out there cooperating with the Lococo girl to build as many ADUs as you possibly can. And it isn't that you build up valuation, it's that you destroy the single family dwelling neighborhoods. And that's what your ultimate goal is. And that's what California is. California is a broken state, LA County is a broken county, and Downey is a broken city.
Speaker number 2, please come forward.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Michael Churko. You guys know me. I was just curious. I know you guys have your hands tied with the state because they will sue the city if you guys even try and go against the ADUs. But I was born in Downey. I appreciate the small town feel of Downey. And I was just wondering if individuals as myself stand up against the ADU movement and try and implement a petition where I get a majority of residents to say they are against the overpopulation of the city, will the state sue every single individual in the city of Downey? Question mark. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now entertain a motion and second to close public hearing.
Close.
Second.
Sorted by the mayor. Unless there are any comments from the council, I will entertain a motion and second to introduce the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Please vote.
The motion is approved unanimously.
Now's the time for, now's the time for public comment on agenda, consent calendar, and non-agenda items.
I move to approve the consent calendar.
I believe I have some abstentions, Mr. City
We have
Attorney.
we have a
Public comment.
message.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there's a message.
We forget, we finished public comment. Oh, no, yeah. Now we have regular public comment.
Yeah, where's? All right, we'll go ahead and, I'll go ahead and read it. Yeah, okay. Okay, rules of decorum for Downey City Council meetings. Please refrain from using profanity, name calling, or behaving in a way that disrupts this meeting. This includes yelling, whistling, booing, screaming, and any other outburst that disrupts or disturbs the meeting. Any conduct that interferes with or disrupts persons who are addressing the City Council. Any conduct that interferes with or disrupts council members while they are speaking. Any other conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, and attacks of a personal nature on city staff or council members that have no connection to the agenda items or non-agenda items. Comments must be addressed to me, the mayor, directly, and not to any other council members, city staff, or audience. City Clerk Duarte, did we receive any written public comment to be incorporated into the record?
We do have one written public comment, Mayor, from Marta Torres from Fair Housing Foundation. She's a community engagement liaison, and she submitted comments regarding the Fair Housing Foundation workshop that will be held at the Downey Library on April 2nd from 2 to 4, where they will be providing information on fair housing laws and rights and cost-free services to the residents. That is all, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second to receive and file written public comment?
So moved.
Please vote.
The motion is approved unanimously.
All right, City Clerk Duarte, how many speakers have taken a number?
We have a total of 6 speakers, Mayor.
Based on the number of speakers, each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the City Council. I remind all speakers that you must remain seated until your number is called. Speaker number 1, please come forward. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Moses, the man of God, wrote the book of Genesis between 1445 and 1405 BC. In chapter 17, verse 8, God is speaking to Abraham. I give to you and your descendants after you the land in which you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan, as an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. If you would like to be equipped with facts and truth about the war between Hamas and Israel, visit aclj.org/defend Israel.
Speaker number 2, please come forward.
Hi, you all know me. I want to speak nicely about my city again and my city council, who I love very much. I'm really a shy person, and I still am shy, and I get nervous about public speaking, but God gave me one gift particular from my heart, and that's a gift to volunteer. And I started doing this 26 years ago with the Chamber of Commerce, my first volunteer job, to try to overcome my shyness and my nervousness. And it's worked so far. I'm blessed to be on the board of directors of the Chamber of Commerce now for quite a few years, and that I'm really blessed by that. Secondly, I started volunteering for the Downey Theater, and then the Parks and Rec Department under Director Chacom. And Mayor, I am so blessed that you allowed me to stay on the Parks and Rec Commission under your district. And another thing that I've overcome my shyness and nervousness a little bit was because my fellow colleagues on my Parks and Rec Commission has actually voted me again to be chair again of the commission. So I got to run the meeting, so that actually helps me overcome my shyness and nervousness, but I still get nervous. The other thing is my police department. I've been with the police department over 10 years now, and my neighbors freaked out when the policemen came to their house and were asking about my background. So thank you, Chief, for keeping me on the police department for over 10 years, and I love Howie. He's so cute. So I'm blessed with that. And then I'm also blessed, to overcome my shyness and nervousness. I've been an Elk Lodge member for over 14 years, and I'm stepping up again to take the challenge of being an officer this Friday night at my Whittier Elks Lodge. And as I said, the best way to overcome shyness and nervousness is to volunteer. And Director Chacom, there's one more thing I know we talked about that I would love to fill the shoes for the city on a certain thing, and you know what that is. So hopefully you'll let me do that, and the city will let me do that. And that, Director knows what I'm talking about. So anyway, I would love to fill that position too as a volunteer and actually save my city some money by doing it. So again, thank you, and thank you for my volunteering. And Fire Chief, I'm still waiting to volunteer for the fire department, okay? Anything else I could do? Thank you.
Speaker number 3, please come forward.
Well, we all have a little bit of shyness and nervousness to us. I am no exception to that. I will humbly and proudly, though, bring diversity to the conversation. Being a conservative bastion of conservative wealth, as I am, I know I am not in friendly territory here. This is a hard left, big government, tax and spend liberal council. It is a broken blue city. And we've seen that previously at our DA's office, who we do have a little change now. But District 4 says the good change is that if you commit a crime, you will be prosecuted. How about also, let's add to that and ask the police chief, if you commit a crime and you are an illegal alien, that you be turned over to ICE for deportation. Let's go all out. What do you say? And support the mass deportations at the local level and cooperate with the federal institutions. Okay, but Mayor, my beef is with you a little bit. You want me to direct things to you. You had an opportunity to move in a different direction. You have failed spectacularly. Initially, you had a chance to support the Taxpayer Protection and Government Accountability Act that the gateway cities disapproved of because they're all Democrats and they want to keep taxing us and not being accountable for anything. And then you paused it for a month and waited, and you brought back the talking points of Wells Fargo and Exxon that they didn't represent the residents. You pulled the bait and switch and you went full bore with the liberal Democrats. Further evidence that you are not representing any America First conservatism in this city whatsoever. Then you went ahead and you supported funding for Stay Gallery after a grilling you put on the young man. at the residents' expense, you were more than happy to take our money and give it to them and pay their rent. You did that, Mayor. You did that. You went full bore into that abyss with the far left, hard left, liberal Democrats. And now you're advocating for all the nonprofits to line up so that you'll give them our money as well. Now, we know what DOJ has uncovered with all the nonprofits and NGOs. It's all waste, fraud, and abuse, and it's corruption, all at our expense. And you are continually going full bore in these policies of insanity and cultural suicide. Spectacular failure.
Speaker number 4, please come forward.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, Mr. Bradley and staff, good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor, you are an Kiwanian, and you went to our Downey Rotary Club recently and gave a synopsis of what's happening with the city of Downey, and I want to thank you for doing that. Secondly, I want to add my voice to those who applauded the Downey Police Department and our police chief in working in conjunction with the Department of Justice to apprehend roughly the 50 pounds of fentanyl. It's a job well done. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge in passing the memory of a lady. She's died about a year ago. She was a business person, had a travel agency at one time, visited many places throughout the world, was a mother, was an arts patron, heavily involved with that in the city of Downey. And I wanted to recognize her in passing, and her name was Lorene Parks. This ends my comments. I yield my time back to you.
Thank you. Speaker number 5, please come forward.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Valerie Esparza. Good evening, Mayor Sosa. We are excited to announce the upcoming annual carnival of Our Lady of Perpetual Help School off of Downey Avenue and south of Florence, which will take place on April 11th, 12th, and 13th. As a nonprofit school, this is one of the largest fundraising events, which helps offset tuition for families and is only possible with the support of our community. So we invite you all to please come join us for an exciting weekend of games, delicious food, and live entertainment. Last, there is an opportunity to advertise your business, as all donors are mentioned over the 3-day carnival weekend. And if you are interested, please reach out to the school office. Their phone number is 562-869-9969. Follow us for more information on the Instagram handles at OLPHTK8 and OLPH Downey. Thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you on the April 11th weekend at Our Lady of Perpetual Help School. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker number 6.
Can I please give you a flyer?
Speaker number 6, please come forward.
Hello, I'm Michael Churko again. I'm trying to get better at speaking. It's been a while. I used to be the Kiwanis president, Downey Los Amigos Kiwanis president with Hector, Mario, And I think Horacio is now a Kiwanian as well, and so is Claudia, right? I just want to say thank you to everybody up here. It takes a lot to be the city council. And I know that the state is shoving ordinances down our throats. I don't even know why there's individual cities anymore if the state's just going to continuously send their overreach over us. But I do appreciate everything you're doing, Hector and Mario. Mario's having an event this Saturday, recognizing him. And the guy that's recognizing him is George Rojas. George is a great guy. He's been through so much. The event's at Beso. If anybody can try and attend, that's watching on YouTube, and just support my friend Mario, that would be great. And then Jesus Torres is having a birthday at the Moose Lodge on the 29th. It would be nice to also support him. He's a great advocate for the veterans of town. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second to close public comment?
So moved.
So ordered by the mayor. Now is the time for consent calendar items. Are there any council members that would like to remove or abstain from an item?
Yes, Mayor, I have to recuse myself on item number 3 and item number 6.
Okay, anyone else? Is there a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
I move to approve.
Second.
Please vote.
The consent calendar is approved with Councilmember Trujillo abstaining from items 3 and 6.
Thank you. This evening, there are 2 administrative reports. Update, number 1, or item number 8, update on the city's urban forest management plan. That City Council receive and file an informational update on the city's urban forest management plan. City Manager Bradley, is there a staff report on item number 8?
Yes, Mayor. Director Baumgartner will provide the presentation of this item. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Tonight I'm providing a brief update on the city's urban forest management plan. And taking a look at work that we've done over the last 5 years, several actions that have been taken by this council to increase the number of trees. Just starting with in 2017, kind of give you a sense of where we were, we had approximately 15,000 street and park trees in the city of Downey. At that time, the city worked on and was awarded a $380,000 grant with CAL FIRE. This grant went towards developing an urban forest management plan and a street tree master plan. And as part of that project, once that was wrapped up and adopted by our council in 2021, it also included installing 540 street trees throughout the city. Some additional efforts and a very large effort took place in 2020 and 2021 through the I-5JPA consortium. The city partnered with Tree People at that time to plant 2,800 street trees. Planting efforts have increased the number of city-owned trees to over 20,000 trees today. Approximately 600 trees have been added each year in the city through a number of ways. We have our service requests where residents can request trees to be placed in their parkways if they don't have any. There's the tree distribution events, and we have our capital projects. The UFMP, the Urban Forest Management and the Street Tree Management Plans establish goals, strategies, and standards for planting and maintenance in the city. Some of these goals and strategies include planting 30,000 public and private trees by 2050. And that private tree thing is important to mention. That's why we do these tree giveaways, tree distribution events, in order to increase the canopy on private properties as well. We celebrate Arbor Day. We hold volunteer planting events. We maintain recognition year over year as Tree City USA. As I mentioned, we distribute these trees to be planted by residents on their properties, and we continue to plant trees in residential, commercial, and industrial areas. One of the key components of the work that was done was developing that street tree management plan, and through that, the council adopted an ordinance to modify our standards for planting and maintenance. One of these things included establishing a tree palette by which this pertains to the street trees that are planted throughout the city. This picture that I have over there to the right gives you an example of what can happen when you have the wrong trees planted in your parkways. And this is a very common problem throughout LA County. This is an example of a ficus tree that lifts up sidewalks and is really an infrastructure buster. This is a problem that all cities have throughout Southern California, and the importance of establishing a tree palette is so you have an idea of having appropriate trees that are sized for the parkways, and that there's guidelines establishing how those roots are established so they grow downward and not sideways. The other part of that is setting up our maintenance and pruning cycles. We currently go through and trim our trees on every 24 to 30 months. So these are street trees throughout the city. So the tree that you have in front of your property should be getting at least one pruning every 2 years to 2.5 years. One of the important things that the ordinance looked at was limiting tree removal under the following conditions: when trees are dead, severely diseased, or dying; when the root system has the potential to compromise a sewer or water system or major damage to infrastructure like we see over here; when those tree limbs have the potential to grow into power lines and cannot be safely trimmed; when trees are leaning in an unsafe condition; or any trees that present a hazard to the general public. A couple weeks ago, give you an idea of that, we had a tree that fell on Brookshire Avenue in the middle of the day. Our staff got on that. They gave me a call, and we took a look at some of the other trees that were out there. And one of them was leaning. We found the one that fell was rotted through. So we went ahead and we took care of those trees because they were obviously going to continue to pose a hazard to the community. So that's an example of how we use these guidelines to make these decisions. Our goal is always to preserve trees whenever we can. We don't take out healthy trees unless they are causing damage or they pose a hazard. Staff has also been going through and identifying and filling empty tree wells. In this fiscal year, we've focused on Firestone Boulevard, Lakewood Boulevard, and we'll be wrapping up before the end of the fiscal year on Downey Avenue and Florence Avenue. And you can see we've filled in new trees on Firestone and Lakewood, and now we don't have any empty tree wells along there. Over the next few months, we will be wrapping up and adding an additional 25 street trees to wells on Downey Avenue and Florence Avenue. Next year, we're focusing on Paramount Boulevard and Imperial Highway.
Could I ask a question right now, since
Sure.
there are tree wells? What is the water system set up for that? Because I know there were some new trees planted on Arbor Day by Rio Hondo School, which had no water, which were dying. We manually watered them. Do you have that truck that comes around? Do you schedule them for a year or what?
Yeah, usually you do that until you can get those roots established. So that period usually takes about up to 18 months. The important thing when you're establishing new trees is that you don't water them too often. Because when you do that, the roots stay really shallow, and that causes the problems where they don't start making their way downward and they start causing problems for infrastructure. So we have staff that goes by and waters those trees when they're getting established. When they're being established in residential areas, we often work with the residents because they're responsible for the maintenance of the parkways.
And I wanted to ask, if I could, Mayor, during the time where we partner with the tree people, as this presentation shows, Matt, and there were several hundred trees planted during that 2021-2022 period. We heard from, and again, this could just be anecdotal information, I don't have hard facts in front of me, but there many residents that were not very happy with many of those trees. So I'm wondering, do we know the number of trees that were actually taken out by residents and or replaced by us? Because I think that was a bit of an issue, and we as a council wanted to address that. We wanted the residents to be happy, but we also wanted trees in those areas.
Absolutely. And my understanding, what staff told me, is there was quite a bit of outreach that was done with the community where the trees were going to be planted. We actually had quite a few people that told us they didn't want a tree park planted in front of their house. So that accounts for some of the empty areas. It's really those neighborhoods just didn't want any, those particular homes didn't want any, and nothing was planted there. So that was part of that program. That being said, I think trees that have been issues, I believe some of those have been replaced at those requests. Early on, it's a lot of times they might not be establishing well. That might have been some of the complaints regarding that. So there was some replacements that were done. But in general, there was outreach that was done to check in to let people know what type of tree was going to be going in. And then if they chose to opt out, they had the opportunity to opt out.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'm curious, what are the reasons for not wanting trees that we hear?
I think what I have heard over the years is just, people, usually it has to do with maintenance, right? If you got a tree that's dropping a lot of leaves, might be dropping berries, that sort of thing. So when you look at some of the older trees, liquid amber is a good example. It drops those little spiky cones. You've got palm trees that drop the date fruit. Those become maintenance issues for folks. So I think a lot of times it has to do with like a perception that this is going to be causing a lot of problems for the cars that are parked in front of the house. I think that's typically one of the comments or objections.
In our palette of trees, do we have some that drop?
No, everything. So again, it's kind of that perception about the way the trees they've seen and how they work. Okay. But yeah, no, the trees that are selected now should be trees that are not dropping a lot of material. But there's still like maintenance related to that, and people might not like the trees that are dropping leaves over time, or concerned that it would be dropping leaves over time.
Or they feel, sometimes I've heard, Councilmember, the root system, it's going to go into their pipes, and it's going to intrude in that. And that's
again, yeah. So it's a bit of education regarding how to properly establish the roots so they understand that it's not going to be causing that kind of problem.
And Matt, if I may, I saw the report, and I think this was a question I had. At some point, we also worked as a council. Perhaps you remember, Councilmember Trujillo. We looked at fines for people that took mature trees out of their properties, because we've heard it from both sides. On one side, people love the tree canopy that older communities have, like Arcadia or Pasadena or South Pasadena. And then all of a sudden you get people moving into this community and they just eliminate trees from their area. And so we had talked about fines for eliminating trees without, again, notifying the city if they don't meet this criteria. If they're not obstructing pipes and they're not, the trees, the limbs are not growing into an area of the house. Where are we with that? Do you remember what is our ordinance and the fines?
I think if we were made aware of if our staff, if they see a tree that looks like somebody came on and lopped it off or tried to take it out or got word of that, we would certainly explore that and investigate
that. So just looking quickly at the code, I'll help you out a little bit here, Matt. I was looking at some of the details, so I don't have all of it in front of me, but it does say in the code that if you remove a tree, it is a misdemeanor, which is up to $1,000 of a fine, and you also could be liable for the value of that tree, and the city could seek remuneration for the value of that tree if you remove it unlawfully or seek to destroy it or harm it in some way. So there is a pretty strong language in the code. We do usually work with people if there is a problem with a tree, so we have an arborist on staff that would go out and engage them to discuss some of the issues they might be experiencing. As Matt mentioned earlier, a lot of times it's education. People are worried about the cost of watering the tree. They might be looking at infrastructure in their yard, for example, the sewer lines, and they're worried that the roots might be getting in there. And so we really just try to make sure that we engage with folks, but there is some pretty strong penalties in the code if you illegally remove a tree.
And have we done any social media to educate more the public? And even as of late, again, spring is here. People are going to be doing a lot more outdoors. Not that we have severe winters in Southern California, but as a reminder or as an education campaign of what we're trying to do.
I'm not sure that we have, at least in my memory. So right now, again, I think we're coming up on Earth Month. It would be a good time to do something like that. So thank you.
I just have a question. This was based on the code that you were just referencing. So if a resident takes off a tree from their property, that's city-owned, that's when the misdemeanor, or if it's...
Correct, a city-owned tree.
Oh, okay.
That's right, yeah. So if you have something on your private property, that's a different issue. That's your tree. These are city-owned trees.
And do the residents know which is a city-owned tree? So like if they move into a property, how will they know it's a city-owned tree?
I think generally speaking, they're aware of the trees that are along that kind of that 4 or 5 foot area there, that is a parkway, that is a city-owned tree. And they know that if they've lived there, they know that there's a contractor that comes by and trims those trees every couple of years as well. So they, I think there's a general understanding that I haven't encountered people that are too confused over that.
But it would be a good idea, it's part of the outreach that we're doing, to put in, did you know that the parkway tree is actually belongs to the city?
Yes.
We can put something like that in there too as well.
Absolutely.
And I think, again, part of the education, what the tree canopy does from a health and environmental perspective, right? And what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. Thank you. And then just kind of looking at our ongoing efforts and future efforts, we're looking to update our tree inventory. There's been a lot of trees that have come in over the last couple of years. There's trees that have fallen. So it's just working with our contractor to update that GIS, but also kind of making something a little more robust that can track maintenance, make sure that we're balancing the diversity of species that are being introduced, because you don't want to, the urban forest management plan talks about not wanting to use the same kind of tree from the tree palette through blocks and blocks and blocks. It's important to be able to vary those trees. And so using the GIS is a way for us to be able to see how it works within a particular maintenance district. The UFMP actually broke the entire city up into, I can't remember the number, quite a few maintenance districts that our staff uses and follows when taking a look at the trees. So updating our GIS and making that a little more robust way to track the maintenance work. We're also going to be pursuing additional grants with CAL FIRE. Again, we have the goal to plant 30,000 both public trees and private trees in order to handle the public part and being able to put more trees in the parkways. And along our arterials, we look to partner with the agencies like Tree People and the Los Angeles Conservation Corps like we have in the past. And staff does have relationships with both organizations. And CAL FIRE is usually one of the best ways to acquire quite a few trees like this. Again, it's not cheap. We spent roughly $1 million. We didn't, through grant efforts, through others and partnering up. About $1 million was spent to plant those 3,300 trees. And so that's something that we'll continue to do. Staff will continue to do through the partnerships that we have and identifying more locations to add street trees along the corridors and in our neighborhoods. And with that, I'm wrapped up and happy to answer any more questions you might have.
At one of the recent good meetings, your Keep Downey Beautiful Rep Madeline,
Yes.
and she's mentioned about Arbor Day is coming up, or they're going to be planting, or no, we're going to be giving away up to 300 trees?
Yes.
What day was that again, coming up? But more importantly, you have this card, and I didn't see that. Is that somewhere where we're advertising on the card?
We usually put that out also on our social media.
I see the shredding, and
Yeah.
I see compost, but I don't see the free trees. Yeah, we went into Mufus. But yeah, maybe there's another card that's coming out to let residents know. I think they ran out, or they had a few left last year.
In terms of the trees, those goes quickly. That's
Yes,
always
exactly.
a very popular program. I would say probably within an hour, they're all
See, that's
swooped
somewhere
up.
where we can let the residents take it and put in their own trees. I'd love to see us double that.
It's a very, very popular
Fruit
giveaway
trees,
every
right?
year. Yes.
Yeah.
Arbor Day is April 25th this year. I don't know if we usually probably do things on the Saturday, I would assume.
It's Saturday, yes. And as part of that, I don't know the locations this year, but we usually identify
26, sorry.
some locations that we're going to be installing some new trees. And so we usually will have members of the community will help with installing those trees on a volunteer basis. So,
Okay. Well, we'll make sure we get it out on social media.
Yeah.
If I may, thank you for the presentation. Just to remind folks, Downey is bordered by not one, but two, three, but four freeways. So just from a health perspective, the cleaning of our air is very important. And I hope people remember that these trees are one way that we do that. So there is the health benefit to it. So I hope we do continue in this trajectory.
Absolutely.
Because our residents deserve cleaner air. So thank you for this presentation. I am very happy to see the progress we're making in expanding our tree canopy. Thank you to the staff for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Baumgartner. Any other questions or comments, colleagues? I will now entertain a motion and a second to receive and file the update.
So moved.
Yeah.
Please vote.
The motion is approved unanimously.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to item number 9. Discussion regarding the downtown Downey Gateway sign conceptual design. That the City Council discuss and provide direction to staff regarding the downtown Downey Gateway sign conceptual design. City Manager Bradley, is there a staff report for item number 9?
Yes, Mayor, I'll turn it over to Assistant City Manager De Rojas for this item.
Mr. Mayor, I have to recuse myself from item number 9. I hope you all have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. Good evening.
Good evening. I think we're waiting for the PowerPoint to go up. Thank you. All right. Thank you, City Manager Bradley. Good evening, Mayor, and members of the City Council. As mentioned tonight, we'll be going over the downtown gateway sign conceptual design. So for his ways background, we're going to provide just a little bit, how did we get here? So starting in May 23rd, 2023, at a City Council meeting, the City Council requested staff to procure design services for a gateway sign to be located in the downtown area. Specifically, the location would be at the northerly intersection of Firestone Boulevard and Downey Avenue, which serves as a prominent downtown.
Excuse me, pull the mic a little closer. Thank you. Okay.
Would be a prominent downtown Downey gateway. So the photo right here on the slide right here would be the primary location of where we're looking at. So staff began with a request for proposals for the process. So it began in January 2024. It was issued to over 200 prospective firms. 40 indicated that they were interested in submitting a proposal. 3 reached out for further questions, but in the end, we received 1 proposal from Graphic Solutions. The proposal was evaluated by an interdepartmental team, and then it was reviewed looking at technical experience, project management approach, understanding of the city's requirements, scope of work, and objectives. And then after review by the team, it was ultimately decided to move forward with them based on their experience in April 2024 with the professional service agreement. Moving on to the actual conceptual design development. So in April 2024, there was a kickoff meeting with Graphic Solutions to discuss the vision of the sign, and also received some input from the Downtown Downey Improvement Association. Some of those comments that we received from the downtown group included items such as spacey, futuristic, modern, and those items were incorporated in the ultimate design. Following the input from the downtown group, in May 2024, those conceptual designs were given to staff, and then from there, staff provided it to the downtown subcommittee for review and further discussion. After review of those designs and also looking at feedback from the community, it was ultimately determined to redesign those and bring it back to the downtown subcommittee. From August to December 2024, city staff worked with Graphic Solutions to develop new designs for the downtown gateway sign, looking more modern and timeless was the description. In February 2025, a conceptual gateway sign was shared with members of the downtown subcommittee again, and then ultimately the design was approved by this subcommittee and was recommended to bring forth to the entire city council for approval. On the slide before you is the conceptual design that was approved by the downtown subcommittee. So this is the design in the daytime, and then this is the design in the nighttime. So key features of the design, it's a traditional arch design with contemporary lettering, providing for a modern, clean, and elegant design. The letters are encased in a silver metal material to align with the city's contemporary entry markers at key intersections, as you can see here on the slide, and the various wayfinding artistic historical elements throughout the city, trying to maintain a holistic approach of all the artistic infrastructure in the city. The gray color of the gateway sign was chosen to remain consistent with the city's overall branding color scheme. And additionally, the color of the gateway sign matches the light posts along Downtown Avenue and Lakewood Boulevard to provide, again, a holistic and interconnecting city-wide approach to the design used. The encased lettering is illuminated using low-voltage LED. Another item of note, while it's not a key feature perhaps, but something to keep with the modern and clean look of it, was also to make sure it doesn't compete with any decorations that were used by the downtown potentially on the gateway sign. So those can be seen here on the next. So if you were to get examples, 4th of July, because right now there is a lot of use, 4th of July banners and whatnot during that holiday season. So we put an example for that, both in day and night. Then also for holiday decorations, especially because that is a key feature along with what our city events are in the downtown. So kind of highlighting the holiday decorations you would see day and night. We also wanted to incorporate a selfie, an example of how that would look like across the street. We really wanted to highlight that we know this could be a destination for tourists coming into our downtown, into our city, and so trying to see how that would look like to the community. So ultimately, if we move forward with the design, conceptual design, here are the 4 phases that we would be moving forward. So the first one is design, concept, and approval, which is we're in the process now. Phase 2 is development of the site study and full construction document. So this is key for the actual preparation of the construction bid process itself. We need to solidify what is going to be the construction of the actual gateway sign. This will also be the moment where we look at where we actually place the gateway sign, understanding where the utilities are falling in the different areas. So that will go from April 25 to June 25. And then following that, we'll do the actual construction bid process from June to November, with the award of the contract coming back to the City Council in November. And then lastly, phase 4, construction, which is anticipated to go from December to June, assuming there's no climate or other issues or delays that we hit along the way. Looking at costs, the cost for the project would come out of the Arts and Public Places Fund, so not the city's general fund. And just to reiterate for the public, the Arts and Public Places Fund can only be used for projects such as this, for art pieces throughout the city. It cannot be used for any other services. Following that, we just wanted to note what some of the costing components of Phase 2 would be approximately $25,000 to do the construction and documents preparations. And the actual Phase 3 and 4, my apologies, for fabrication and construction is ranging between $250,000 to $300,000. Now, again, this could fluctuate depending on where we land with the footings and other kind of designs that we have to solidify. So ultimately, that is the recommendation for the council to discuss and provide direction to staff regarding the downtown Downey Gateway sign conceptual design, and staff is available to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Assistant City Manager Rojas. Any questions or comments, colleagues?
Me and Mayor Hector Sosa are part of the downtown subcommittee, so I mean, I take great pride that we worked pretty hard on this gateway sign. I do have one question, just came up to me while we were watching the slides. If you can go back to the image. You can go to the other one. There we go. Are we okay to take off those X marks behind the sign, the Downey sign, just so it doesn't, are we required to have those?
No, that could be part of the final design development of how that would look like.
I would like without the X's.
On just where the Downey is at? Maybe, I mean, I don't mind the 2 X's on the far end, but if my council colleagues want to take off.
Looks like tic-tac-toe.
Yes, no, I would take out the X's, period, completely. Because if we're going for that clean, contemporary look, just the downtown Downey, otherwise the X's in the middle,
Is it a structural support bar?
That's what I was going to ask.
No, that is more for design. We have seen other designs that look more the clean look that the council member is representing, stating, so we can provide that as part of the final design development.
I really like this, like the lettering. Obviously, it goes with our Downey contemporary lettering, and I really, really like this. My only thing is those X's. I'm not too keen on.
Yeah, we can definitely take it back to remove those X's.
I feel it needs our Downey color or a little bit of the logo of the downtown Downey district, because they developed something, and I took a look at what they approved and developed with like a little something. It's like I would like to see a little bit of color or something on the top. I know you spent a lot of time with it, but I feel that there needs another element. And I think in your presentation, you said that the words are in gray to match. Is it silver gray? Because it looks white here.
No, the material used for the gateway sign itself is gray to match like the light posts that are along Downey Avenues, but the lettering itself is white.
The wording is in white.
That is correct.
Okay.
Was there any? It's light, is
White.
illuminated. It would be illuminated.
White. That is correct.
Okay, so it's not like in a prior, go back to a prior slide, Downey sideways. See that one there? Where Downey sideways is silver.
That is correct. So we're looking at the typography of the lettering is
You're
what
just
we were
looking at the
modeling
font.
after. Yeah,
Okay.
but not the actual silver metal usage.
Okay. What was maybe the thought process of not using our orange or our logo anywhere in the discussions, or using even the downtown Downey logo with a little bit of the bridge, like the sunrise over the top?
I think what we were discussing most is that we wanted something clean that can, throughout the years, if they do decide to change their logo, that it won't conflict with our downtown signage. And that's
And not
something we
only
discussed.
that, I think D is Council Member Mayor Pro Tem Pemberton. I think it's important for us to remember that this is the city's gateway sign, not the DDIA's. And while we have a valued partnership with them, this is the city of Downey. And with that, we need to keep that clean, and we need to adding additional designs,
Architectural features. Detour from the meaning of what?
Deters from just downtown Downey. It's nice, it's clean. As we visited, and again, I'm not part of the subcommittee, but as I visited other downtowns that have archways, it's just the name of the city. and it's very clean.
And we have our branded D, orange square D, in the crosswalks on all four
Right.
crosswalks. Let's go to the next slide that show that, because that could look kind of busy if you have a D on the ground and then you have an orange D on the top.
Yeah.
So are those some of your thoughts?
You
when
wanted
were
to
on the
look
committee?
classy, elegant, and at the same time, that contemporary design. I think it also pays a little bit of homage to the city's mid-century modern history.
And I remember when we received the other examples of the signage, it was just too much for our downtown. And I think this provided, something clean, modern, and I think it's going to be a good
Timeless.
asset. Timeless.
And on the backside going south, it doesn't say leaving downtown Downey, does it? No? You don't see anything leaving.
No, you do not, but actually that came up during the downtown subcommittee discussion, and so they're looking at other ways to market that throughout the downtown. For example, when you're in the parking structure, to say thank you for visiting Downey. So that would be along the entryway or exit way of the parking structure in different areas, so it's not competing, but no, it wouldn't be on this, but we're looking at other areas.
Yeah, because having any lettering on the back end would actually interfere with the way it is. I mean, as Councilmember Ortiz mentioned that, he and I sit on that committee, and, we go back to when we first started looking at renditions. We took a lot of input, and some of it from the DDIA, and some of those where we try to incorporate the space history, aerospace history here, and all those signs they just weren't good. We were trying way too hard to taking a lot of input and trying too hard to, I guess, relate to some of the rich history we have here. But this offers a clean look. It's timeless. We appreciate the DDIA's input as far as their rendition. I think that was probably their fifth or sixth outcome that they decided on. I know that they want to do stuff alongside throughout Downey Avenue, but this is timeless. This is, it's pretty straightforward. It's clean. It's neat, and I think it'll stand the test of time and be good decades from now as it is today if we approve this.
One of our tallest, I call it a gateway sign, is the one with Speedy on Lakewood and Florence, right? I can see Speedy there on the top of this sign running, so. We talked also about, for District 1, Councilman Ortiz, about bringing art into D1. And now I can see it's a big a cost factor. There's still a lot of funds left in there that we can revisit. Is that anything on the table of artwork?
And thank you. I was actually after our follow-up comments, and I appreciate you bringing up that same conversation. I know that we're using these arts and public funds right now, specifically, majority is for the downtown area. I would also like to mention to my colleagues, I would like to use these funds throughout our city, not just District 1, and I appreciate you bringing District 1, but I'm sure throughout our community, we would like to see some art pieces, some murals, and I think it will be a great asset to elevate art pieces throughout our city. And I don't know if something I have to bring up right now and us to approve that, or is it, how does that work?
Well, I think that would be a separate discussion.
Separate discussion?
Yeah.
A piece of art with a splash pad, right?
Splash pad.
Yeah.
If I could add to that, though, so there is money left available in the fund following the Gateway sign, the Doodalicious mural updates that we're planning to do, money set aside for the utility boxes and also for the mural for the parking structure. There is money left available. That being said, as part of the upcoming strategic plan goals for the upcoming year, one of the items is an arts and cultural master plan, if you will. So that plan, one of the objectives is to look at citywide areas where we can put different art pieces. And so that would be an opportunity for the council to look at where areas or gaps or missing pieces, and that's where we can fill in the gaps.
And then the last thing, just make sure that I see it correctly. There's going to be an arch, right? It's not going to be flat.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Well, if there are no other comments or questions, I'll now entertain a motion in a second.
I will make a motion to accept this design without the excess. But I think this is a timeless design.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, please vote.
The motion is approved with Councilmember Trujillo absent from the meeting.
Okay, this city council meeting will now adjourn in the memory of Sergeant Joseph Anthony Ascona, 26, 5-year veteran of the Newark Police Division, who passed away while investigating an illegal weapons possession call. And Deputy Sheriff Hector Cuevas Jr., 6-year veteran of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, who passed away during a high-speed pursuit accident. And also for longtime city employee Steve Talley. He was a building inspector for 10 years. A moment of silence, please. This meeting is now adjourned. It's 9:06.